How's everybody doing today? Let's hear some things in the chat box. We're going to go ahead and give it a few minutes for some people to get on, and then we're going to be talking about some recap of what we've gone over in some previous weeks, some reminders, some things you guys need to keep in your head. Hey, Ronald, how are you doing? What's going on, Xander? I really want to stress over some key topics, what to do in the future, and yes, this is the last weekly webinar for Killer Campaigns that I am going to be holding. As of right now, we may do something kind of cool in the future, but as of right now, there's some other things that we need to focus on, and we don't have enough action takers in this group. So I appreciate all of you guys that are on. We are going to give it a few more minutes for some people to show up before I get started. I'd play some music for you, but if I do, YouTube will make they'll freeze up my replay so nobody else can watch the webinar replay. I don't expect too many people to actually show up tonight. I didn't really advertise much for this, but we're gonna have fun anyways, and I'm gonna give you guys a few good tips. Most of them I've given to you guys before in the past. I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I actually have a PowerPoint for you. It's something I threw together really quick. But we're going to recap on what is going on in the Killer Campaign world. So I hope you guys are excited. Sorry, guys, just a couple of more minutes and we'll go ahead and get this thing rolling. Xander, you need to become your own expert, man. If you're going to be successful, you got to know how to run Facebook ads. Either that or you got to have really deep pockets and hire somebody that is extremely good at Facebook ads to run them for you. I have personal experience in this. I actually used to run people's Facebook ads for them. I was not cheap. If I remember right, I was charging people, I think, right between $75 and $150 an hour to work on Facebook ads, and companies were paying me to do it. Okay, guys, so there's not very many of us here, but that's okay. I don't care. We're going to get started anyway. I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint real quick. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get things rolling. Okay. So basically, guys, hold on just a second. Let me log in real quick on another computer so I can see your questions coming in. So only take a second. Keep in mind, most of the questions I'm not going to answer until the end of the webinar. I will answer a few questions, but there's no guarantees. Okay. Not able to see the questions. Okay, but anyways, okay, guys, so today is actually the last weekly webinar that I'm going to be holding for Killer Campaigns. Now, what does this mean? And yes, all good things do have to come to an end eventually. The reason for me ending this is a mix. It's a good mix between I teach stuff every week. I do webinars every week. I do all this stuff for people, and they don't listen. They come and they ask me questions. They come and they do these things that I explain clearly, and they like to use me as their own personal Google machine. And I'm not Google. I don't have the answer to every question, and nor should I be expected to have the answer to every question. So that is one reason why. The other reason why is because honestly, I have a lot of projects going on. I got a lot of things that are happening, and I have something kind of exciting that I'm starting to do as far as teaching wise that is different, and I need to focus my time on that. So that is the reason for me ending the Killer Campaigns, the weekly webinars. Trust me, it has nothing to do with Thursday night football, although I really would like to be watching that Broncos game right now. But instead, I'm here with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So the recap on this is we're building businesses, not stores. And Facebook ads are a bitch. Yes, I said Facebook ads are a bitch. That's 100% true. And we're not going to put all our eggs in one basket. We're going to be going over some of this stuff throughout the training. Well, throughout the webinar. This is kind of training / recap / whatever you really want to call it. But I am letting you guys know right now, I do not have access to the chat box. So if you're asking questions, they're not going to get answered until all our slides are done. And I don't know how long that's going to take. It depends on how much I ramble. You guys know I like to talk and talk and talk and talk. So with that being said, we're not building businesses, or we're not building stores. We're building businesses. Facebook ads are a bitch, and we're not going to put all our eggs in one basket in the future. So we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So what is your business? What does your business actually consist of? Because your business really isn't just your store. All that is a point of sale. So it's like I said, it is not your store. It's all the assets listed below. So it's your store, it's your social media page, it's your email list, it's your customer base. It's your business is only as good as the people who operate it. So if you have VAs, if you have people that work in your office, if you have people that work packaging and shipping, all of these have to be quality. All these people have to be doing the right things. They have to be working the right way. Everything has to work well together in order to form a good business and keep your business moving forward and not backwards. So I want to make this really clear that your business is not just a store. We're not just throwing up stores, throwing Facebook ads at them and hoping and praying that we're going to start making money. We're building businesses. So that means we're building social media pages, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of them across the board, Pinterest. We're doing that. We're actively working on our email lists. We're building email lists. We're building our customer base. You want satisfied customers. And what can we do to make more satisfied customers? We can have better customer support. We can have better shipping times. We can make sure we pre-qualify our drop shipping vendors if we're drop shipping. If we're shipping in-house, we can make sure our shipping times in-house are better. Yes, I do understand that a lot of times money is an issue. Money can be an issue where it's limiting you on the amount of stock you can do, the amount of inventory you can hold and ship out. If you can hire people to help you, money is an issue. I get it. Sometimes that is going to be a problem and you're going to have to cope with that, but that's okay. Sometimes if you got to make money online, I've sold air in the past. I sell products all the time that I don't even own, and I wait for them to show up, and they show up, and then we ship them out. So that is not an issue. Don't let that hold you back, but make sure when you're trying to build a real business, this is what we're doing. We're building your store, you're building your social media pages, you're building your email list, you're building your customer base, and your business is only as good as the people who operate it. Keep this in your mind. And this video will be public. You can come back and you can refresh with it on YouTube or whenever you want to. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Facebook sucks. Yes, I said Facebook's a bitch. I was not lying. Facebook is a bitch. There's no blueprints. There's no amount of money that I can tell you that's going to make you successful. Testing, testing, testing is the key. And do what is working for you and not what everyone else is telling you to do. You need to stay focused. Okay, I ran into these problems in the past, and this is what happened. Okay, I was doing really good. I was making a lot of money. I was doing all these sales. I was doing all this, and I was talking to people. We were talking about things, talking about the ways other people were advertising, and they were making money. I was making money, and I was thinking about the ways that they were advertising and the ways they were putting it to me, and it kind of reflected on the way I started to advertise. I started changing the way I did things, and I wasn't making as much money. My sales weren't coming in right, and I couldn't figure it out. I was thinking to myself, I was like, what am I doing wrong now? Like, I was making a ton of money before, and now I'm just not on the same path. So I had to look back. I looked back months and looked at my old ads, looked at what I was doing before, and it was completely different. I'd completely changed the way I'd advertised based on what other people were telling me to do. If you have something that works, keep doing it until it stops working. Don't change the way you're doing things if you're making money, because that's the bottom line. We're all here to profit. We're all here to build up our bank accounts. We're here to make an online income. We're not here to take other people's opinions and lose money. Although other people's opinions can help you. And staying focused. Everybody in this webinar right now knows that I have built a six-figure turtle store in the past. My turtle store was constructed, I don't know, I haven't told very many people this. I actually built my turtle store in under 4 hours. So from ideas to ads, I had this thing going in 4 hours. I had 8 products, 2 different bracelets with 4 different color variations, and a simple free theme off of Shopify. I did not change anything on my site until I had done over $50,000 in sales, and that was less than 3 weeks later. So in less than 3 weeks, I did $50,000 in sales on a store I put together in 4 hours. So guys, we can do this. We can do it. And a lot of you guys that know my store background behind my turtle store, you know that I've done a lot with linear funnels. I am a funnel guy. I like to put people through funnels. Now, why do I like to put people through funnels? I put people through funnels because the conversions are better. My conversion's almost double when I put people through a funnel. And why are your conversions better when you're in a funnel? I'm sure I can see plenty of people are probably asking questions, answering this stuff, but I can't see it right now. I'm sure they're there. I'm ignoring you because I want to stay on topic. And the reason behind why funnels convert better is because there's no distractions. You're putting them on a page that gives them a yes or no question. You're taking them from an ad to your funnel, and it should be congruent. If you were doing it right, it's congruent. They're seeing the same pictures, they're seeing the same offer, they're seeing the same package, they're seeing whatever. They're seeing it all right on that on your funnel. So it's a yes or no question. Once they get to that page, it's, are you going to do this? Or go big or go home, pretty much. Or take it or leave it. Here's your offer. And that converts better. It's proven over time for me that funnels work better. So I use funnels. Now, some people don't have to. I mean, you don't have to use funnels. You can have people on your store so they can browse around and maybe buy more products and do all of this. But from my experience, that doesn't convert as well. It doesn't convert as well. So that's why I don't do that. Okay. And no, there is never going to be a blueprint for how to make money on the internet for Facebook ads. There's no real blueprint behind it. You have to do your own testing. Every niche is going to be different. Everything's going to be different. You need to do it and figure it out your own way. There's no blueprints. If there was a blueprint, I would not be on this webinar right now. You probably would have never seen my face before because I'd probably own my own private island, my own private jet, and I'd just be sitting back, hired probably 600 to 1,000,000 employees, all just doing the same blueprint over and over and over and over and over again, making me money. So no, there's no blueprint. There's no exact answer to every question, and there is more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to do everything. There's not one single way that works. I'm sorry, that came out wrong. There is a single way that works, but there's multiple ways that work as well. So just because this works for somebody doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And just because it's working for you doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. So you need to be doing your own testing. You need to do that. Next slide. Okay, what does Jake mean by not putting all my eggs in one basket? Okay, what I'm pretty much saying here is do not rely only on Facebook ads for traffic. There are plenty of other methods out there for more traffic sources. Now, I'm not saying that stop using Facebook ads. I'm not telling you right now, I'm not saying, hey, quit using Facebook ads because they suck. You know what? I've made a lot of money through Facebook ads. I still run Facebook ads, and I'm probably not going to stop anytime soon. But there are plenty of other traffic methods out there that you can use to coincide with Facebook. And I could go on all day about this. I actually could probably do an entire course on this, but I'm not going to because I don't have that kind of time at the moment to do that. But with that being said, free traffic is good traffic. So keep this in mind. Every social media page that you can be on, whether it's Twitter, it's Pinterest, it's LinkedIn, it's Google+, wherever it's at, start building these profiles because those bring you free traffic. Building your email list can bring you free traffic. I mean, virtually free. You do pay for your email service, but virtually free traffic comes from these things. So free traffic is good traffic. It's the best kind of traffic. And build multiple streams of income, okay? So when I'm saying build multiple streams of income, if you have a successful store and you're doing good, don't rely on this one store. I have done this in the past. Your store goes down, something happens, and you're sitting there and you're like, what do I do now? I quit my job. I don't have anything else going for me right now. This is my only way of profit, and now I'm not making any money. I don't have that much money in the bank. I just invested a bunch of money in something, and now my one source of income that I had just went down. Don't quit your job because you have one successful store. Make sure you have multiple successful stores because you can really only tell if you're actually a truly good marketer or not if you can do this over and over and over again. So if you can go out and you can build one successful store, that shows you can make money on the internet. If you can go out there and build multiple successful stores on the internet, that means that you're probably going to be able to make money no matter what. You're going to be able to make money over time. You can keep building businesses, but do not wait until your store crashes to build another store. Because if you remember, when you start, it takes a little bit of time. And sometimes that can be a week, sometimes that can be 2 months, sometimes that can be 6 months to build a business, and you don't want to be stuck with no income for that amount of time. So basically what I'm trying to tell you here is you need to never stop moving forward. I don't want you to ever stop moving forward. That is a very key factor. Now, with that being said, I'm moving through my slides very, very quickly. I'm looking at we're only like 20 minutes in the webinar, and I didn't even start the slides until we hit like 5 minutes. So in 15 minutes, I've already gone through like 5 slides, and that's because I haven't been looking at your questions. I haven't been looking at any of that. So I'm going to take a second just to go over your questions really quick. We can slow this webinar down. I can kind of lower my blood pressure a little bit, and we'll relax for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and put this away for 1 second. Stop sharing my screen. Stop. And I'm just going to see what's going on in the chat. No, not much. You guys really aren't doing much in the chat. Jake, should people be using linear funnels? Sure. I mean, if you want to be using linear funnels, you can be using linear funnels. You don't have to. Wayne says no. I've had a lot of success with linear funnels. What did you miss, Wilson? You might have to watch the replay. I can relate that at Andrew, what's going on? Okay, so there's not a lot going on in the chat, which is actually really good, because when people aren't saying much in the chat box, that to me means that you guys are paying attention. You're listening to what I'm saying, you're consuming the knowledge, you're paying attention, and you're not worrying about writing questions or answers. You're doing that. Andrew Albert, watching on my iPad. Oh, awesome. How's it treating you? Does it work all right? Honestly, I just got on Amazon and ordered you a random iPad Air, so I don't know if it, I didn't actually see it or anything. We've been listening. Good, Oscar. Glad to hear it. OCU versus linear opinion. Well, I'm assuming you're saying one-click upsell versus linear. First of all, they're 2 different type of platforms. You can use them with each other. You can have one-click upsell on your store, and then you can use linear funnels when you're using funnels. But one-click upsell is not a funnel building software, so they're not really that great. I mean, they don't coincide with each other. They're 2 different apps. I mean, one-click upsell is just a checkout. Linear is you build funnels. So they're two different apps. Yes, they're both good apps. I don't have anything bad to say about either one of them. I've made a lot of money with linear. I've made some money with one-click upsell. So they're both good apps, but they do have different purposes. They're different methods. So yeah, there you did. Different methods. Yes, exactly, Steve. Okay, so now that I've answered some of your guys' questions, I'm going to get back to my slides. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Get back to the slideshow. Untitled. Okay, so we just talked about not putting all of our eggs in one basket. Don't quit your job because you got one successful Shopify store, because that's not smart. That's not the rational thing to do. Yes, that is what but that's not exactly. I'm sorry, I lost track of what I was saying. I was looking at one of the questions that came in. I need to turn those back off. Okay. So we're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. It's not rational to just get up and leave your job because you have one successful Shopify store. You want multiple streams of income. Yes, a lot of us internet marketers, we're crazy. We have this drive. We always want to be doing something. We want to be making money, and we need to make more time in our day in order to do this. So we feel like we need to get rid of our job, our steady source of income, in order to make this happen. But when it comes down to it, you really want to make sure you have multiple streams of income. Trust me, I've been there, done that. Don't quit your job unless you have more than one stream of income, or you have a lot of money sitting in the bank to back you up in case you fail. Okay, so what other traffic methods should we be using, or should I be using, or should you be using? So basically, Facebook, number one, yes, we are using Facebook for traffic. We're using it for paid traffic, and if you're doing it right, you should be using it for free traffic as well. And what do I mean by using it for free traffic? I mean, you're building up your fan pages. You're using content marketing to actually build your page. right? You want content marketing to build up your page. And by content marketing, you're going to increase your engagement. And every time you make a new post, you should have your link in it. You should be doing all these things to get free traffic. Now, Instagram is the same thing. You want to have a link in your bio. You want to be posting niche-related photos all of the time. You want to build your Instagram following. Instagram is very important as well. Honestly, I think Twitter's kind of dying, but people are still making money with it. So it is not a waste of time. Any source of free traffic is good traffic. I wouldn't necessarily recommend the Twitter paid traffic platform because I have never used it. I will be honest with you. I am not going to lie and say I've used Twitter and it doesn't work. I have never, ever used the Twitter traffic method or paid traffic method. Now, Pinterest. What I have to say about Pinterest is it is great. And basically what Pinterest does is, or it not really what it does, is what the stats say is that more people buy stuff off of Pinterest than any other social media platform. So you should be on Pinterest. And a lot of you guys have your Shopify stores linked to Pinterest, but are you actually doing it right? Yes, you have all your products on there. What you need to do on Pinterest, and some of you guys may already been doing this, or you already know, I'm preaching to the choir, whatever. What we need to do here is you need to have different subcategories, right? So you want to make sure you have you want to have a board, for example, hats, shirts. You want to have a board for everything so people can search these things and find them on Pinterest. If all of them are all in one category for your store, it's going to be so much harder for people to find it. It doesn't work as well, and so on. There's also clickable or there's buyable pins that you can buy now that are working extremely well for a lot of people. Snapchat is another source of really organic traffic that you can get for free. I recommend having your snap code on your store, on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, having your snap code everywhere, and constantly be uploading snaps of latest sales, the greatest things, related photos, whatever you have to do. And you can also be using Snapchat as a paid traffic method by purchasing shout outs. You can buy shout outs on Snapchat just like you can on Instagram. Another method is Reddit. Now, Reddit I kind of wanted to express a little bit more onto you guys because a lot of people are always telling me, well, I tried Reddit, but I didn't get any sales from it, or there was no way for me to track the sales. Well, if you're not tracking the sales, you're not using Google Analytics, or you're not using any software to actually track these sales. But that's not the important part. The important part of Reddit is you can get extremely cheap traffic. You can get extremely cheap clicks to your site. That's the first step. We want to get people on our site. As soon as they get on our site, we can retarget them on Facebook, Instagram, Google. We can start retargeting them all over the place. Everybody knows the magic number is 7. A lot of people don't buy things till they've seen you at least 7 times. They want to know who you are, because if they don't know you, they're not going to buy from you, if you get what I'm saying. They're not going to buy from you because they don't know you. If they don't know you, they're not going to buy from you. So the quicker you can get to that number 7, the better. So you need to be using Google for retargeting. Facebook / Instagram. I say / Instagram because the Facebook and Instagram platform are pretty much the same thing. They're combined. Use all of these different methods to retarget. Yes, you can retarget with Google. Look into it. Go to your Google machine and Google how to retarget with Google. Or go to your YouTube machine and YouTube how to retarget with Google. Or I guess you should say AdWords, not necessarily Google, with AdWords. Bing, Google advertisings. That's another great one. I mean, through AdWords. Advertise through AdWords. You would be surprised on some of the keywords you can find out there that are extremely cheap, and you can get clicks just as cheap as Facebook. Except you're actually getting people that are coming to your store to buy things. Not just because they saw your ad on Facebook. People are socializing on Facebook. They're not buying. That's why sometimes it's so hard to convert things. It's easier to convert things on Google. Not always, but a lot of the times it is. And with that being said, make sure you're using Google Shopping. So you're integrated with Google Shopping. So people can go onto Google, and when they type in the type of product, your products show up on Google Shopping. Yes, you pay for Google Shopping ads. That pays for itself. It's just like Facebook ads. Yes, you can do that. Yes, it works. I have seen it done. I've done it myself, and it does work. Bing ads. Bing ads are pretty much just like using AdWords, except I think you can get cheaper clicks. I have done it. I can get cheaper clicks than on Facebook and on Google on Bing. Now, they don't necessarily always convert better, but I'm getting the click, and that's what I care about first. I have to get people on my site. If I don't get people on my site, I can't retarget them. So I'm looking for cheap clicks, okay? And that's the same thing that comes from influencers. Now, when you're finding influencers, you can have influencers in Snapchat. You can have influencers in Instagram. You can have influencers in Facebook, in Twitter. You can pay for shout-outs across all of these boards. You can do all of this, right? So why would you just, I mean, why would you just stick to Instagram? Everybody thinks Instagram shout-outs. You can do it on Twitter. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Snapchat. You can do it on all these different mediums. Why are you only doing it on Instagram? Look for shout outs in other places. Sometimes you can get them for cheaper, sometimes not. But make sure you're looking, because if you're not action taking, you're not getting anywhere. Influencers are a great source of traffic. You don't always get a lot of sales from it, but you can get a lot of clicks. And clicks is the first step. You can't retarget people if they don't click. Your pixels don't pick them up. Okay, we're going on to the next slide. How do you find a good influencer? Followers do not matter. I personally have Instagram accounts with over 100,000 followers on them, but I get little to no engagement. That is because I paid for followers, or I bought Instagram accounts from people that I thought were reputable, and it turns out they paid for a bunch of followers that were fake, and they get little to no engagement. Either that or they change the niche on you. So what you really want to do is you want to find accounts, not necessarily Instagram, any account that is extremely related to your niche. The more niche related, the better. So for example, if you are selling a dog product, you're not just going to want to find somebody that's in the dog influence necessarily. You might if they have really good engagement, but maybe you want to find somebody in the pit bull influence, or the border collie, or the German shepherd, or the husky, or whatever what extra dog you are actually into, or whatever product you're pushing. You want to find those influencers so you can push your way into that marketplace. Using influencers, you get clicks. You do it that way. Make sure you're looking over all of their accounts, their previous posts, and see what kind of their engagement looks like. Don't just look at a few of their recent posts. Make sure you go back and they have a good rep. Make sure it looks like they're steadily growing. Because if all of a sudden they took this ginormic jump, it may be because they bought a bunch of clicks, or they bought a bunch of followers, or they bought a bunch of likes, or they bought a bunch of things on certain posts to make their accounts look like they're worth more than they were. So you really want to investigate these accounts before you are buying them. You can also negotiate with these people. One great thing about Instagram influencers at the moment is because Instagram and shoutouts used to cost a lot of money, right, guys? Anybody that used to go buy an Instagram shoutout, it used to be very expensive, but the cost of shoutouts has gone down by a lot. I mean, it's extremely lowered. And the reason for that is because now there's the Instagram marketing. You can have paid ads on Instagram. Before you had paid ads on Instagram, the Instagram advertising was monitored by the people that had the accounts, the people with the majority, the top 1%. That is what the advertising was basically controlled by. So now it's not that way, so you can get stuff for a lot cheaper. You can get a lot of shout-outs for cheaper. So shout-outs are another great source of traffic. And I just kind of wanted to do this thing about influencers. And you can do that. You can also do influencers on YouTube. You can find people in your niche that are on YouTube that aren't utilizing their descriptions, but they have a lot of followers, and say, hey, look, I'll pay you this amount to put my product description or my link on here for this amount of days, or this amount of months, or this amount of hours, whatever. You work the deal out with them. That's how it works. Just work a good deal out with them. Basically, you need to start taking action. If you're not taking action on all these things that I just talked about, I know I went over them extremely fast. If you're not taking action on this stuff, you're not going to get anywhere. No more talking about how you're going to do it, and just go fucking do it. And I quoted, that's Gary Vee. Gary Vee says that. Watch some of Gary Vee's videos every once in a while. Don't do it all the time because it'll consume all your time and you won't have time to take action. But no more talking about how you're going to do it, and just fucking do it. Okay? Just do it. So that was pretty much my recap. I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions. This is some recap over some of the things we've gone over in the previous weeks, some influencers, all this stuff. Product sourcing, I'm not going to get into today because product sourcing, honestly, is one of the stupidest topics. Everybody wants to know, what is the product? How do I find a good product? How do I do this? You know what? Make products popular. Don't find popular products, make products popular. Because if you're finding popular products, other people are already selling them, and you're competing with them. Competition's not healthy. A lot of people will tell you, yeah, everybody just keeps saying, can you talk about scaling? Can you talk about scaling? Can you talk about scaling? You know what? Scaling is different in every scenario. I would have to look at each one of your guys' ads individually and tell you how to scale it. There are so many different ways you can scale. You can scale out, you can scale up, you can duplicate, you can do all of these different things to scale, but everything is different. That's why I said test, 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 test when it comes to Facebook ads. With Reddit ads, are the Reddit users as critical as they are with normal posts? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't push many normal posts on Reddit. I'm going to go ahead and close this for a second, answer some questions. Not many of them, though. I'm not going to talk about scaling because, like I said, that's something that is going to be unique to each individual person. I take action every day. I scale my ads and fail every single day. I can't scale. If you can't scale, you're in a niche. If you've went out there and you've tried all the different scaling methods and you just can't, Alan, if you can't grow, you're in a niche that you can't grow in. That's what you're pretty much saying to me right now. You're saying you've tried everything. You have done it all and it doesn't work. You can't scale. No, you haven't. You need to scale out. You need to scale up. You need to find more audiences. You need to do these things. And if this doesn't work, that means you didn't do your research when you were coming into a niche, and you have too small of a niche that you can't grow into. That you've already consumed your entire niche. That's as big as it's getting. And I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but that is how it works. If you can't scale with it, then it's too small of a niche. Tommy, yeah, Wayne, I don't know your personal situation, but I don't necessarily. I'm talking about actually paying for ads, Xander, on Reddit. Waiting for some more questions to come in, guys. I know this webinar is going to be a little bit short and sweet today. We're only 40 minutes into it. I have a little bit more to talk about. I want to answer some of your guys' questions, but like I said, I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being an asshole. Scaling works differently for everybody. How do you make a product popular? Wayne, people are followers. If you get people to buy it, it's all about the offer. It's not about the product. All you have to do is you have to put an offer in front of people that is 100% irresistible. You have to present this offer to them to where they have to buy it. So you get people to buy it. You build social proof around it. You use PPE ads. You use all these different things to promote this offer, build it up. And all these other people are going to look at it and they're going to say, hey, look, everybody else is doing this. Why am I not doing it? And they're going to buy it. That's what I mean by making products popular. At what point do you decide to start fresh? Honestly, I don't shut down many stores. I start new stores as my company grows, but I usually don't. I'm pretty good about when I start something, I'm on a mission to make it work or quit. Alan, I've duplicated a winning ad, $2.20 cost per purchase. It's been killing it. So I duplicated the ad like 5 times, add to cart, view content, purchase conversion, and it gives me nothing. You should be duplicating it the same way. Duplicate it with, I don't, duplicate it with if per purchase. If you're doing it per purchase, or if you're optimizing for purchases, duplicate it for purchases, Alan. Don't try doing all the rest of them. Or if you're using PPE, use PPE. The only reason why you duplicate it is so that that initial ad doesn't stop performing. So you duplicate it and raise the budget and see if it works. All you're doing is testing a new one. What is typical product picking success rate? Depends on how much research you do. New, innovative products are the best. Jewelry is extremely successful. It's all about how much work you want to put into it and how much money you want to invest. I could sell just about anything with the right offer and the right price. So if I can get it for a reasonable price, for example, if I wanted to buy something in 5,000 units to get it to a price where I wanted to sell it at this price, I can sell just about anything because the products are out there because people are going to buy them. Yeah, fruit jewelry, that's extremely hard to go into. I would go into more of people that are into a specific type of fruit. I would try to contact them on that credit card issue. Xander, that sounds like a niche that normally if I'm going to go into a niche, I will already find my targeting before I ever even think about finding products. If you get what I'm saying, I want to make sure that there's an audience there before I do that. Alan, I'll leave it for a few days. You got to leave it for a few days so you can get enough data, because just because an ad isn't successful on its first run doesn't mean you can't read the data and see what was working. See where you were getting cheaper clicks. Maybe ages 35 to 54 or 35 to 44 were doing better than all the rest of them. So I want to create a new ad that's only targeting people 35 to 44, and then you maybe start getting purchases. There's so many different things you can do, but you need data. Basically, your testing is you're purchasing data. You're not purchasing purchases. Sometimes it works out that way to where you can just go out and you can buy purchases, but a lot of times you're buying data. You're buying this information. You're finding out what parts of the country are more interested in your product. You're finding out what age groups are more interested in your product. You're finding out about all these so you can narrow it down and niche down to them, and you can target those people more in specific. So that increases your conversion odds, which lowers your cost per conversion. I know there's a little bit of a lag between Google Hangouts and the comments and me and you. Or Webinar Jam or whatever you guys want to call it. So I'll let a couple more minutes roll by and we'll see if any more questions come in. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And then we're going to go ahead and go on to what's next. So I'm ending the Killer Campaigns weekly webinars. Sad, I know. It's upsetting. Can you share how many stores and products you have? Sorry if I'm getting personal. Yeah, I'm not going to share with you all the stores and products I have. I have proven myself before. I have given people niches. I've shown them my stores, and people tend to just copy me and do what I'm doing. So I'm done doing that. I'm not showing people that kind of information. I'm sorry if that's a little bit offensive to you, but it's kind of, those are streams of income to me, and I don't compromise those. I showed everybody a 6-figure store that I created, a 6-figure turtle store, and what happened? I got probably 150 to 200 people that are copying me to this day. Just how many? Yeah, that's an irrelevant question as well, Wayne. Why are you worried about me when you should be worried about you? Personally, Steve, on that question, I don't use Traxify or Pixel Perfect. I just use the Pixel integration with Shopify. And I do use Ad Espresso sometimes, but that's just for creating a lot of ads at one time. I don't use it for ads reporting. I use just the standard ads manager for that because that's how I learned how to do it. And I didn't have fancy tools like those when I started learning how to do Facebook ads. Do you process all of your high-risk buyers? It depends on the order value. Tara, that really just depends on what you're selling and what you're going about it. General stores, it's not so much important. Niche stores, it can be a make or break situation. I always encourage to build up social media pages, but it's not always necessary. How do you do Facebook video ad? Do you take a video of you holding the product or what? I do Facebook video ads a lot of times just with product pictures. Use the app called Quick. I know there's some people in here that'll type it in the chat box for you. Try to contact them, Xander. That's the best thing to do. Alan, what you need to do is duplicate it exactly the way it is, put it in a separate campaign, and raise the budget. Do you auto-fulfill? How? No, I ship in-house. I have my own warehouse, Wayne. I'm actually sitting in my warehouse right now. My office is inside of it, and I have employees that ship out my products for me. Alan, but yes, you need to duplicate your campaign, duplicate the ad set, put it in a new campaign. So select the box that says new campaign when you're duplicating it in your Power Editor. Put it in there and raise the budget in there and test it on that. Good answer, David. I like it. Thank you. Dustin, what's going on? I hope that answered your question, Alan. Okay, guys. So now we're just getting repetitive questions. People asking me about their personal stuff. Wayne, you fulfill now. Had a bad experience with China and drop shipping. I did too. That's why I switched. Whoever wants to make good ads, take the time to learn Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, and Adobe After Effects. That's a good tip. You can't quit webinars. I'm sorry, Dustin. I don't have time. I'm about to discuss what I'm going to do in exchange for it here very shortly. Am I auto posting? Frank, actually, I have an assistant that manages my social media pages for me, and we do have auto posters. Like we use a tool called Mass Planner. Okay, guys, so I'm getting back to my slideshow. I may answer some more questions back at the end. Let me share my screen real quick. Sorry, guys, I haven't been showing my face. It's really dark in here right now, so I haven't been doing that. Whoops. What am I looking for here? Here we go. Okay, so we're back to take action. Okay? No more talking about how you're going to do it, and just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. This is what's next. Private training. That's what I'm doing. I have been working with people. I've been doing private training. I'm offering a 6-week coaching program, but there are conditions behind it. Not anybody can sign up for this. Not just anybody. You can't just go, I don't have a sign-up form, or you can just go purchase it and you're ready to go and you're going to have my coaching program. I pre-qualify you. I talk on the phone with you. We talk about your problems. We talk about everything else. So if you are serious about e-com, I do offer a 6-week coaching program. And what will I do for you in the 6-week coaching program? I'm sorry about my speech. I'm honestly not going to do anything for you. All I'm going to do is I'm going to push you to your limits. I'm going to make you do things you've never done before. You're going to question what I tell you to do. I'm going to tell you to do it because you will be paying for my knowledge. Everyone is different and has different problems, so every issue will be addressed on a personal level. And I'm also going to force you to make money, or you're going to quit. Because if you can't make money with me showing you how to do it, then you are going to quit. Because I am that hardcore of a person. I will tell you to get off your lazy ass and work. I will tell you to skip the Broncos game or skip whatever game you're watching to get to work. I'm going to do that. And action takers only is all that I am taking in on this program. So I know a lot of you guys are action takers. You guys are all doing this. You're doing that. This is what it takes. I'm not just going to accept anybody. I pre-qualify everybody. I talk to you. We go over your problems. And I want to see if I'm a good fit as well as you're a good fit to me. Not everybody is teachable. Some people don't have what it takes to make money on the internet. They don't have the drive, the willpower, the ability to throw money at things when they're unsure of if it's going to work. Because a lot of times you're taking leaps of faith. So what's the cost? What's the cost of my 6-week private coaching program? The cost doesn't matter. Don't worry about the cost because the value exceeds the cost. And the cost will be discussed on a personal level. I'm not going to tell all of you guys it's going to cost this much. And why am I not going to tell you how much it's going to cost? Because most of you guys won't even take enough action to contact me after you watch this webinar, let alone follow my teaching. Most of you guys, I tell you what to do. I tell you how to do it all of the time, and you don't do it anyway. So I'm not even going to tell you a price in here because it's irrelevant. There's no link. Dustin, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dustin. There's no link. And I can't see. For some reason, I'm only getting some of the questions. Stores and products, Wayne. I have several stores. That's all you need to know. I have several stores, and some of my stores have hundreds of products on them. Okay, but anyways, back to the whole thing. If you are worried about the cost, this program probably is not for you. Because no, my time is valuable. It's not cheap. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm going to hand you this on a silver platter and you're getting it for $30 and I'm going to teach you for 6 weeks how to become successful on the internet and build 6-figure businesses. That's not how it works. My time is very valuable. So no, it is not a cheap program. But you're going to learn a lot. And basically, you're either going to get through it and you're going to be making money on the internet, or you're going to quit trying. You're going to quit. Because I'm going to push you to that limit. Where if you're not making money, it's because you are unteachable. Because I know how to make money on the internet, and I've taught people how to make money on the internet. Is there anybody in the room right now that I have taught in the past that has made money from methods that I have taught them? And has it been worth the amount of money that I have charged you? I'm just curious. Is there anybody in here? No? I don't see any questions. Okay. Do I have any more slides? Oh yeah. So what's going to happen with killer campaigns? A lot of people are like, oh no, Jake's weekly webinars are gone. What's going to happen? I don't even watch football. Good. Or TV. Good. Focus. That's a good thing. You want to focus. Okay, so what's going to happen with killer campaigns? The only difference is that I'm not going to have scheduled webinars weekly. Yes, I may still have some webinars for you guys. I may still have some stuff to teach. I may still have some cool things to show you. I may still have these things, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not going to say every Thursday at this time we're having a webinar anymore. I'm clearly making that out right now that is ending. And the reason for it is there's not enough action takers. There's not enough people doing it, and I can teach people better on a personal level. And I have found that when I work with people on a personal level, they make a lot more money. And they actually take what I have to say. Because when I'm talking to them on the phone and I explain to them their situation, I tell them, I say, look, this is how to do it. This is what you're doing wrong. Get your ass in gear. This is what it takes to be successful. It works a lot better. And I can teach you and I can help you on your own personal level. And I'm not teaching to basically to a lot of people. When I'm trying to teach to the masses, you can only touch on very broad bases because everybody has their own individual problems and they have their own individual issues and their own individual problems with their ads, their own individual problems with their products, their own individual problems with fulfillment. Everybody's problems are different and the solutions are different. And there's no way for me to teach in the masses on how to make you a 6-figure, 7-figure, or maybe even a 5-figure earner. Some people want to be earning 5 figures a month. Some people would be happy just to be making 4 figures a month. I mean, making $3,000-$4,000 a month, that'd be awesome. That's game changing. $3,000 or $4,000 a month is $36,000 to $48,000 a year. There's some people that are doing that on the side, on top of the job that they're doing right now. I know a lot of people that are doing it. Very important. So yes, I'm still going to provide plenty of free content and value and training. And don't worry, Wayne, I'm not. I know you're just asking a question and I may have misunderstood what you were asking, but I'm not going to release my amount of stores and my amount of products. I have several stores and I have hundreds of products. On some stores, some products I only have 20 or 30. I can do the campaign webinars for you. I'll teach people how to make $5 per day. David, nope, but your free content has had a lot of value regardless. Well, that's good, David. I appreciate that. And there's not a lot of people out there that can even say that they've paid for some of my training and have gotten anything out of it, because honestly, I have not sold that much free training or that much training. Most of it's all been free. Where is the link and some descriptive info? Let me go back here real quick. We're going to talk, if you're interested, this is on a personal level. You are going to contact me. Alan, that's a great goal. $1,000 per day is awesome. That's $30,000 a month. $360,000 a year. Actually, $365,000 a year if you want to get really technical about it, down to the day. In sales. Revenue, you're probably looking at over $100,000 a year, or in not revenue, in profit, if you're doing it right. Wayne, if you're interested, like I said, personal level. My coaching is on a personal level. And yes, I have no problem. I know some people will ask, they'll say, hey, Jake, I want you to sign a non-compete letter because after you teach me how to make a lot of money, I don't want you copying me. Don't worry, I'm not out to copy people. I don't do that. But I have no issues signing non-competes. But when you sign up for my training as well, you also sign a form stating that you are going to follow through with my 6-week training program. And there are no refunds, because I'm going to follow through with my end. That's nothing that you have to worry about. I follow through with my 6 weeks, but you are responsible to follow through with your 6. If you don't follow through, that's not my problem. That's why I say action takers only. If you're looking for refunds, if you're looking to waste my time and your time, this isn't for you. Action takers only. I prefer niche stores, but general stores are a great way to test products. You can test products with a general store and branch out. I've talked to people that are doing 6 figures with general stores, and they're chasing good products. But the one problem with that every time you have a new product, you have to redo your niche research. So that's why I prefer niche stores. Angela, please make your coaching affordable because I need to put some aside for ads. I'm making 500 plus a day profit. That's awesome, Sebastian. Angela, the price is the price. We talk about it on a personal level. And what it comes down to is the value is going to exceed the price. I understand that people have money issues. I understand these things. But I have my own issues as well, and that is time. Time's not always on my side, so I have to make sure that if I am going to take the time to teach somebody, I'm getting enough in return. I have to get enough in return to substitute my time that I could be spending on e-commerce or on other ventures that I'm doing on the internet, if that makes sense. Because if not, it's counterproductive for myself. You're a business person, I'm a business person. It has to be equal on both ends. And in most cases, it's actually better on your end. Because most people that I talk to and I teach and I do private coaching programs with, they end up making their money back tenfold. I mean, they're doing, I charge them a decent amount. I'm not cheap, but a lot of people that I do teach end up becoming 5-6 figure earners within a couple of months. So again, if the cost doesn't matter. The value exceeds the cost. So if you're worried about the cost, this isn't for you. I understand that is going to limit a lot of people, but that is how e-commerce works. You got to have money to make money. And I give out plenty of free knowledge. I've done plenty of webinars. I do YouTube videos. I do all this stuff, and people can do this. People can watch that stuff. I understand, Angela, that money's probably not on your side. Rich, I paid for the boot camp, and I got a lot out of it. I went from maybe one sale, if that, now to averaging over 100 per day. If I got that out of a week of training, I can't imagine how much I would be killing it with 6 weeks of personal coaching. I like it, Rich. Thanks for posting that. Rich is one of the people that I have taught in the past. I have a very limited amount of people that have ever paid for my knowledge. And Rich is one of them. He did a boot camp where we didn't necessarily do one-on-one coaching. We did group coaching, and we did a little bit of phone calls here and there, but not much. We did mostly group coaching through webinars, and Rich was a part of that program. And I'm glad to see that Rich is doing better. And Rich, will you answer this question for me? Even though the boot camp was it was well over a month ago. It was probably actually, yeah, it was about a month ago, a little over a month ago it ended. If you messaged me on Facebook yesterday or today or tomorrow or a week ago with a question, would I answer it? Or would I tell you, Rich, sorry, the program's over. No more questions. I'm interested to see your response, Rich. I'm going to go ahead and just exit out of this so I can actually see all of the. Here we go. Oh, yeah. You always answer any question I have. What happened to boot camp? The boot camp was a 1-week boot camp I did. Will the cost be all up front or paid for weekly? That's all the costs and everything like that, guys. Let's not talk about that. If you are interested in the cost, talk to me on a personal level. That means message me on Facebook, add me on Facebook. If I haven't answered one of your questions, you might be in like a message request form. Go on Killer Campaigns and tag me in a post and say, hey, Jake, check your fucking inbox. I messaged you and you're not responding to me. Go ahead and do it. I've been bugging you every second day since, and you always answer. Yeah, Dustin was another one of the boot camp members, and I believe he's still doing pretty well as well. What is Funnel Crushers for? Funnel Crushers isn't quite ready to take off yet. I'm working with a partner on it. Funnel Crushers is going to be more of a membership site. It's going to be really cheap, but it's going to talk more about sales funnels. We're going to be teaching to the general on that. Perfect, Angela. I will respond to you shortly regarding your coaching fee. Honestly, most of you guys, you may message me and say, hey, how much are you going to charge me for coaching? And I'm still not going to answer you right away. I'm probably going to schedule a phone call with you and talk to you about what situation you're in, and I want to make sure we're a good fit before I even throw the number out there. Dustin, I'll be the first one to sign up for your coaching. Just let me pay you already. Tara, there's no start, there's no end date. I take on a limited amount of clients at a time. If I'm full, I'll tell you, sorry, I don't have any time for any more people at the moment. That's pretty much how that'll work. Each individual person. Oh, is the app called Quip or Quick? It's called, I'm sorry, here. Quick. Just like that. I just spelled it for you, Elena. Like I said, so any more further on the coaching, Xander, that's, like I said, anything else regarding the coaching, guys, contact me on a personal level. Let's have no more coaching questions inside of the webinar. If you have any questions regarding e-commerce, let's ask those. The coaching, everybody knows it's out there. I'm offering it. If you want to know more about it, contact me personally. But other than that, let's talk about e-com. You guys know what you got to do. You got to be action takers and contact me personally. I know some of you guys have already sent me messages, but I'm not going to answer those until after the webinar's over. Tara, thank you for offering this, Jake. Honestly, I'm offering this because one, I can help people more on a personal level, and I have proven it to myself and to others that I can teach better on a personal level than to the masses. And number two, everybody's requesting it from me. I'm getting probably 3 to 5 messages a day from people asking me about private training. Prior to using linear, did you still have a decent conversion rate? David, my conversion rates, I still don't use linear on all my sites. Still get on average 3 to 4% conversions without using linear. With using linear, I'm usually 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 or 9%. It really depends on how well your ad copy perceives the landing page. So if your ad copy is very good or matches up really well with your landing page on linear, you're going to have a lot higher conversions than if your ad's a little bit misleading. So that's kind of how it works. Sometimes you pay more for clicks if your ad's a little bit more is exactly to the point, but those clicks convert a lot better. But I do have stores. I have a store right now that I just started that my team's been working on that we have not even installed linear funnels on yet. And I don't know if we will. Are there any other e-com questions, guys? I know we still have some people on here. I know we didn't have a huge turnout today because I didn't advertise for it. But I kind of prefer that because when I don't advertise for stuff and you guys just show up anyway, I know you guys are the committed ones. You guys are the action takers. Hey, Jose, how's it going? Dustin, my man. Remember what I said. It's not about the product, it's about the offer. Keep that in mind. Oh, you get the text, Alan. Good. I know a lot of people don't get my texts. When is it a good time to get out of drop shipping? Honestly, ride that train as long as you can because that's where you're making the most profit. Once you start shipping in-house, you actually make less profit. Make sure you have a lot of money in the bank and you have money to fund a fully functional operation where you have people that work for you, shipping products, managing customer service, and doing all of that. Because if not, you're going to be doing it all the time and you're not going to have time for e-com. Do you have any resources or training on how to use influencers to drive traffic? Tara, actually, I don't. I know that there's some stuff on YouTube about it. The best thing to do is to find very niche related influencers, people that have a big influence in your niche, and start reaching out to them and asking them what they charge for shout outs. Maybe try to exchange your products in exchange for shout outs. So you send them the product and they can take pictures with it. Make sure they have good followings, things like that. Jake, what's up, man? What is a point of dropping out of drop shipping and shipping in-house if you make less money? Why not create drop shipping dynasty rather than moving to shipping in-house? Because you are actually building a more legitimate business by shipping in-house. Drop shipping from AliExpress is only going to last you so long before your company's reputation is going to fall. You're going to find that drop shipping from AliExpress, you have very few return customers. On the long end of the spectrum, you make more money shipping in-house. On the short end, you make more money drop shipping. But you want to make sure you have money. Steve, how much POD do you do in your stores? Pod. What does that phrase mean? I'm sorry, Steve. I sound really stupid probably because I don't know. Seems like fulfillment is much easier. Trade-offs with that model? I'm kind of confused on that question, Steve. Pod or POD, I'm not exactly sure what that means. I may sound stupid for asking that. I know this webinar is extremely delayed. Oh, print on demand. I don't use much print on demand. I really wish I could use more print on demand, but the problem with print on demand, Steve, is that print on demand products are a lot harder to sell because they're the easiest thing for people to get their hands on. They're not as unique. Yes, designs are unique, but a lot of designers you have out there and everything are just copying other people's designs. They're rehashing them. They're doing all these things. And t-shirts and stuff are not as easy to sell as they used to be. I personally do not do that much print on demand. There are some people that are making a lot of money with print on demand. Think outside the box. Think about customized print on demand. So you can customize people's t-shirts. They can customize mugs. They can customize all kinds of different things. That's kind of print on demand that's making a lot of money right now from what I'm seeing from people in more of my inner circle. Yes, Alan, the solution to that is called Shopify app. I'll type it in the chat box. It's not cheap, but that is the solution. Shopify app does all of that. And I'm sure if there's anybody in here that has the Shopify app, they'll attest for it. It's a good app, and it's only growing every day. And they don't only support AliExpress. You can also import products from Amazon, I believe Walmart, from eBay, a bunch of different places. Xander, sell your apparel to actual stores. I've never gotten to the point where I've sold a lot of apparel. I sell a lot of accessories, a lot of things like that, a lot of different products other than what people wear. So I've never come into that circumstance, but print on demand, as far as selling to stores, wouldn't be productive because print on demand is a lot more expensive than buying in bulk and selling it to stores. So I would recommend if you're ever going to sell to a store, you would want to buy it in bulk and then resell to the store. Yes, Xander, that is correct. But you don't do print on demand. You order those products in bulk because you can get them for a lot cheaper price if you're buying more than one. Richard, I believe it's semi-automatic. Somebody told me one time that you can make it fully automatic if you integrate Ally Pay or something with it, but I've never tested it because I don't do drop shipping with that feature. But I do believe it's semi-automatic, but it makes things like 100 and probably 60 times easier than doing it yourself. Oberlo opinion. Oberlo, I've never used it much because I ship in-house. There might be some other people in here that could tell you. I know Oberlo used to be a lot more expensive than it was until the Shopify app came out, and they lowered their prices to try to compete because Shopify was way better and they were losing a lot of customers to Shopify app because Shopify wasn't monthly. It was a one-time fee, and you could install it on as many stores as you wanted if you had an unlimited license. So I believe Oberlo is really cheap now, but I don't know how good their product is. I heard a lot of people tell me things about they weren't very consistent. A lot of times the orders weren't working right and things like that. They may have fixed these issues by now. This has been a couple months since I heard about that. Thanks for throwing that in there, David. Tara, $4.90 a month. Yeah, that's extremely cheap. I put Oberlo in one of my stores one time just to import some dummy products, and it was $30 a month at that time. Oberlo works great for Rich. So test Oberlo. If Oberlo doesn't work good enough for you, then try Shopify app. Jose, the best advice I can give you is try to reorder them. Honestly, I don't relate to a lot of you guys on the drop shipping side when it comes to AliExpress issues because I order in bulk and ship in-house. Alan, that's an unanswerable question. There's thousands of themes out there. I highly recommend Theme Forest because Theme Forest, the paid themes are a lot cheaper and they have a lot more functionality than the Shopify paid themes do. Exactly, Xander. Sure, ask a question. I may answer it, I may not. You never know. Yeah, Alan, I use Theme Forest all the time for Shopify themes. They're a lot cheaper. I think they're like $56 a theme compared to Shopify's themes are over $100 a piece. And they usually come in packs. Best product categories to start with, that depends on your niche. Okay, so what's the question? You started a general store. Oh, is it good to do that? In jewelry, it depends. Like you need to have different niches inside of the general store if you have a jewelry store. You want to make sure you do have niche jewelry inside your store. So that way you can find what's going to work the best. Smart Ad Builder Pro, I bought it. I haven't used it yet, so I can't give you an opinion on it. I buy just about everything. I don't have time to use everything. Okay, guys, so with all this being said, I'm going to answer questions for a couple more minutes, and we're going to wrap this up. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, I was thinking test niches in my general store, then make store on that. Yes, that's a good way to go. Good route. But a couple more minutes is going to go by, and if I don't have a lot, and I'm going to answer those questions, and then we're going to go ahead and get off of this thing, and we're going to wrap up the last weekly webinar of Killer Campaigns. And I'm glad you guys were all able to make it. If you guys are interested in private training, you can contact me. Don't worry, though. I mean, there is going to be future things in the future that I will do. I just can't tell you what it's going to be. Honestly, the more the better, but $5 can work. It's I'm kind of have different opinions on different things, but $5 you can start with that, but you're eventually going to want to start with bigger budgets because $5 will only get you so far. So what's the future for Killer Campaigns? The future for Killer Campaigns is there's no more weekly webinars. I'm still going to be doing training. I'm still going to be updating things, but there's no more weekly webinars. Xander, I've looked and I've tried to find, I know there's some broker sites for Instagram shoutouts. I've tested a few of them, and I have never found any that work very well. I have always found that actually contacting the people and finding them is the best way to do it. Meet, you want to go ahead and try both Convert and PPE and WC ads. Exactly, Alan. A lot of times your product isn't a failure. It's your offer or it's your site. You need to make sure you have a good site. You want to have, I mean, it needs to look legitimate. This is 2016. We're not in the 1990s anymore. Everything needs to look good. It needs to look clean. You need to have good spelling, good grammar. You need to have good ad copy. And you need to make sure your offer basically is the same thing that's on your ad copy. Because if your ad copy is saying something different than what's on your actual store, that's going to cause people not to buy. Steve, that's impossible to answer both of those questions because basically some ads are more engaging than others, but people aren't interested in buying the actual product. So it's really hard to tell on that. There's not even a ballpark on it. Honestly, there's not. Alan, that's something you can ask me on a personal level. Obviously, I'm open to things. I've reviewed stores in the past. I look over things. I do stuff like that. But time's not always on my side, so it's on a case-by-case basis. So if you get a hold of me and you say, hey, Jake, I'm willing to pay you this much money, look over my store, tell me what I need to improve. I want to do this, 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 this. And I can go through and give you some good pointers. I can tell you what's not going to, in my professional opinion, what's going to work, what's not going to work, things like that. With all that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I know that there's a time delay between us and Webinar Jam and the questions and everything. So there may be some questions that start rolling in after I'm saying this. Those questions are not going to get answered. I apologize. The last one I see is from Alan, and that's the last one that got answered. So I hope all of you guys have a very productive week. Keep in mind, I mean, Killer Campaigns isn't dead. I'm still going to have more webinars. I'll probably be doing some workshops, some cool things like that. Tara, I'll still have more webinars. Don't worry. This is just the last weekly webinar. There's no iPad giveaway this week. I'm not giving away anything this week. I'm giving away knowledge. Knowledge is worth more than an iPad or any giveaways. Knowledge is what it's worth. So, with all that being said, guys, be productive. Great minds think alike. Remember that. So start talking to other people, get more opinions, start doing things like that. Combine yourselves with people. Create groups of people around you that think similar, that do similar things and do things like that, and those people will be able to help you the best. All right, guys, you guys all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to get home to my family. Have a good night. Bye-bye.